I've really enjoyed digging into some old school DJ kit recently for the series Beatsource Retro Tech. If you haven't seen the first 2 episodes of that, I suggest you check them out. I'm really enjoying that one, and it seems like a lot of you are too. But on this episode, we're going in a completely different direction. We are looking to the future, and I'm going to give you my top 5 wish list items for the world of DJ technology. I have 2 self-imposed rules for this list of mine. Firstly, I'm going to try not to go too specific. I don't want to talk about, I wish Serato DJ Pro did X, for example. Or I wish Traktor had this feature. I think there is value in that, and maybe we'll return to it later on and do more specific drilled down wish lists for different platforms. But in this one, I want to keep it really general, really wide-ranging, stuff that can apply to pretty much the whole industry. The second thing is that I've tried not to think too much about just iterating on existing tech. For example, I think stems are incredible. They've changed the way I DJ over the past couple of years, but nobody's stems are perfect, not by any stretch. They could all stand to get better, and there are other things that I'd like to be able to do with stems, ways I'd like to work with stems. But that's not what this video is about. That is kind of iterating on stuff that's already out there. I'm trying to think big picture, helicopter, blue sky thinking here. That's the plan for this list. Let's get to it. Firstly, we need an affordable, I would say even entry-level, single deck media player. I can't believe this is a product that doesn't really exist in the market today. Like Denon DJ, they have the SC6000 and 6000M. I'm not even sure if they're still actively developing single players. They seem to have gone down the mobile DJ route a lot more, and they've kind of let that slide a bit. I mean, the SC6000s are still compatible with the latest engine. They still work great. I have a couple here in the lab and they're still fantastic, but they're not that cheap. They're quite expensive. And then you've got Pioneer DJ / Alpha Theta, sick of saying that now. They've just got the CDJ3000. I don't even know, like the older XDJs, if they're even still available. But even if they are, you shouldn't buy one because they are actually ancient at this point, fully out of date. The CDJ3000s, what are they, like $2.5 grand each? Like crazy money, insane money. You could buy a whole setup with a MacBook Pro and DJ Alpha laptop for less than a single CDJ3000. They're just not attainable for most people. And if you want to buy used, firstly, that stuff holds its value really well on the used market. And secondly, you're buying then very out-of-date technology. I don't see how it's beyond the means of somebody in the market to make, let's say, an $800 to $1,000 media player based on existing technology out there that can play off USBs. Let's forget this CD drive at this point, but you play off USBs, SD cards and streaming, whatever else. It's just got to be possible. At this stage, I don't see how it's not. And the problem is that people can't use separate mixers. It's all very well selling big all-in-one devices. That's great. But I want to use a rotary sometimes or a scratch mixer sometimes. Different things like that. But yeah, I'm kind of sick of it. I'm sick of just all-in-ones everywhere. And I don't know if that's just a me thing. Let us know in the comments if that's you. But for me, yeah, around about $1,000 standalone media player that could do streaming. It can do playing off USB sticks. Has a good jog wheel on it. It doesn't need to be all singing, all dancing. It just needs to have today's current technology in there. I can't believe that's not possible. So please, industry, make that happen. The second one is in my list as Master EQ, but it kind of applies to a whole raft of digital processing. We have all this digital kit now. We're working in the digital realm with our MP3s or our WAV files or our streaming music or whatever else. All of these things are the standalone kit is basically little computers in itself. And I feel like as DJs, we are not processing our sound to the point that we could be. Like, I don't see why, for example, in a Prime 4 Plus, why isn't there a screen where I can go in there and I can tweak my master EQ? So I've got like a 8-band master EQ. Remember DJs who are really old, like me, remember we used to have master EQs on our sound systems back in the day where you could tweak your 31-band equalizer or whatever. Why haven't we got that in the digital space? Why am I reliant on either a very blunt tool like a 3-band master EQ, if I even have that? Why am I not able to go in and really customize that sound? And while we're at it, let's have a master compressor on there, or at least a hard limiter, something like that. I find the auto gain in most software is not great. I'd rather be able to just maybe have a nice limiter that's going to make sure I'm not ever exceeding my levels cutting off nicely that I can adjust and I can tweak. Trust DJs to be able to work with their own sound. Not everyone's going to be able to do it, in a competent way, and there might be a lot of learning to do for a lot of DJs who don't really understand sound engineering, etc. But I think the potential is there. We have this powerful hardware. Let us do a bit more digital signal processing on our devices and in our software as well. I mean, there's basically nothing in terms of the output controls in Serato DJ Pro, for example. I can't mess with any kind of master EQ there. Let's put a bit more power to shape the sound in the hands of the DJs. Number 3 is send and return loops. Like, I often bemoan to you guys and girls and to people in the industry that there isn't really a great effects unit. I honestly don't think, in a lot of ways, the EFX 500 from Pioneer DJ, which is a future candidate for a Retro Tech episode, that's from like nearly 30 years ago. That has never been bettered in terms of the ease of use, the functionality that it offers. I really don't think it has. There is a new one from Union Audio, which I'll be reviewing soon, but external effects are not great in the DJ world. Part of the problem with that, I think it's like a chicken and egg situation. There aren't any send and returns because there aren't any good effects units, but there aren't any good effects units because there aren't any send and returns. And that's the issue. In the live sound world, aux sends are like on every board. Every mixing board has got aux sends on it. In the DJ world, it's just not a thing. Like, a big product comes out that aspires to be, and very much is, a professional device. Like last year, the AZ from Alpha Theta, right? That comes out, no send and return on it. There's no way to do external effects processing or just sound processing in general. And I just think they're all these giant devices. They've got physical room to do it. Let's have send and returns. At the very least, a master insert. But as far as I'd much prefer an actual send and return, because right now people are using a mishmash of like guitar pedals and the various older effects units that are around, the RMX 1000, and that's really inflexible. I want to see better external effects because I enjoy using effects and I enjoy the idea that I can use this kind of modularity in my effects, but I can't do that because nearly all the stuff I play on, the S11, that's my weapon of choice for most of my open format gigs. I often think, I'd love to put an isolator on this and use an isolator with it. Well, the only way I can do that is by putting it through the master chain, and just give us a send and return. 20 years ago, the 909 had a send and return on it, and that had internal effects. Like, all of these manufacturers, none of the range stuff's got external effects, send and returns. I just want a send and return loop on basically everything, certainly everything at the pro level. Let's get send and returns back into DJ gear. The next one is like a combination of two wishes kind of stuck together, but I do think they make sense as one overall desire. The first aspect is I want a mixer with built-in DVS in there. Like, how is that not a thing? How have we not got a mixer with embedded record box or engine just built in there? I can plug in my turntables, plug in a USB stick to the back, or connect to streaming over Wi-Fi, and then I can just play with my turntables or with phase in HID mode. Why is that not a thing? I mean, it's been an idea that's been talked about for years. Thud Rumble showed off the Invader mixer that they'd made back in like 2019 at the NAMM show, which had embedded tractor in there. Like, computing power has got so compact and so powerful. We know it has because we can buy a Denon DJ Prime Go that's so powerful, does so much stuff. It's just that one next step to take it over into the world of DVS. I mean, at this point, you maybe wouldn't even need DVS. Just make it HID compatible with phase and you're good to go. Then the second aspect is I want, a Rain Performer with engine built in. I want a Rev 7 with standalone record box built in. Spinning platters, standalone. It's just not a thing outside of the aforementioned SC6000s from Denon DJ. Like, they've got standalone with spinning platters. Why don't we have an all-in-one like that at this point? Why is that not a thing? It's like, to me, the world of open format, which is the world that I come from, and the world of standalone don't really seem to be crossing over to the level that I would like. Let's get spinning platters and standalone and make that a thing, please. Industry, can you bring that to the table? If you want that to happen, let us know in the comments below. Make your voice heard, because I know, as far as I'm concerned, a standalone Rev 7 or a standalone Rain Performer, for me, that's like the ultimate device. And for my other gigs where I'm using actual turntables, a mixer with embedded record box or engine in there, absolutely, that for me is just a dream. And the last one, the fifth one on my list, and this is something that is just evergreen. It's been, you know, I remember Mark Settle from DJ Works talking about this 15 years ago, maybe longer. I watched Phil from Digital DJ Tips. He did a video last year about his wish list for DJ technology. This was top of his list and it's top of mine as well. And on this one, I understand why it hasn't happened. This is more of like a dream that I have. I wish, it's just something I really wish would happen. I don't think it's going to. Universal library. It just should be a thing. Like, it just should. It would make total sense, right? Everything should just be universal. So I can build my crates, my playlists in Serato DJ Pro. I can do my beat grids. I can set my cue points, set my saved loops. And then I can open up Virtual DJ. Virtual DJ sees the exact same stuff. And the same would apply for Engine, and the same would apply for Rekordbox, and just all of the platforms. One universal library that would work for everything. And then we could even, as Beatsource and Beatport, we could provide you your cue points and your beat grids and everything else with your tracks from our streaming service. It's just, in many ways, a no-brainer, but as I say, I do understand the reasons are that this hasn't happened, because this would entail a lot of technology sharing between competing companies who might not necessarily see the value in working with those competing companies. I mean, one of my things was when Alpha Theta were touted as going to be buying Serato, you know, and that obviously didn't happen in the end. And, you know, Serato have been bought by this company Tiny now. That's all going through as far as I'm aware. The one benefit that I really saw coming of that was, oh, finally, I'll be able to use my Serato library in Rekordbox and vice versa. I'll be able to export my USB sticks from Serato and just, there you go, plug them into a CDJ and I'm good to go. That was like the real saving grace of that deal. And it would have obviously shut out other manufacturers. So, well, it wouldn't have been a perfect thing, but like that was the one thing I was like, okay, well, at least we'll get that. At least I won't have to maintain a separate Serato and Rekordbox library, which I do at the moment. You know, I do that thanks to DJ Conversion Utility. That's the software of choice for me. There are other options out there like Lexicon, for example, who do that conversion and that syncing between different libraries, but none of it is especially elegant. None of it is really kind of transparent and invisible. It's all steps and hurdles you have to jump over. Locking things down into different siloed areas is not the move, and I would just love to, it would just make, I think, every DJ's life easier, because you'd no longer have to think before you played on someone else's kit or before you tried someone else's software, am I going to be able to use my music with this hardware? No, it doesn't matter, because whatever platform you've got, you can just take your library across and use that. For me, that would actually be a real game-changing, life-changing thing. Unfortunately, out of all the stuff on my list, that's the one I think is least likely to happen. In the comments, let me know your wish list for the future of DJ technology. I kept mine very kind of general, not software or hardware specific, but by all means, you guys and girls can sound off on that kind of area too. Let us know what you'd like to see coming to Traktor or Virtual DJ or Algorithms DJ in the future. Let's get specific down there in the comments. But yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you for watching this episode of Beatsource Tech. I do hope you've enjoyed it or found it useful. If you have, be sure to give us a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos. And hey, if you haven't already, you can try Beatsource for free and join DJcity for just $10. The links are down in the description. I'll see you next time.